Wherever you live next to and interact with wildlife. These are conversations with people about their interactions with the natural history of Rangi Hayata in Golden Bay. So I'm talking with Wendy on our deck one lovely spring morning, and right behind you is something that you've made.
Yes, a tui feeder attached to the post with a wine bottle in it with some tui syrup in it, and at the moment not being frequented very often because the flax flowers are all in bloom and they're feeding from them as a preference, I think.
But very successful overall. We've had lots of tui, a few bellbirds, and just recently a few sparrows have also found it.
And lots of wasps.
And lots of wasps, unfortunately. And I guess that's the start of how we started feeding the birds.
It's quite amusing to watch them because they wait for their turn. So there's one in the pittosporum tree, there's one on the roof, and there's one on the feeder. And the one on the feeder flies away and the one on the roof takes its place, and the one in the pittosporum tree catches up. It's quite hilarious. There can be a whole stream of them waiting. And if it's empty, we're in trouble. They sit there on the perch and they glare at us, honestly, until we filled it up.
In the same pittosporum tree, you can probably hear there's some cheeping because the sparrows now also are demanding.
Indeed they are, and they cheep very loudly if it's empty.
And if we feed them some bread, they'll come down in a big flock, up to about 20.
Well, even if we don't feed them, they make us feed them, because the minute we sit out here to have breakfast, lunch or dinner, they're on the lawn looking at us, waiting.
Yep, and they've even been known to peck the glass on our deck doors to say, come on.
When we're inside, if it's a rainy day and we're inside having lunch, they'll sit and watch us and peck on a glass and ask for food.
And the leader of the pack, who actually brings most of them in, is one of your friends, isn't it?
It's Charlie. Charlie and his wife, Charlene, the chaffinches.
And they're very pretty birds, and they're probably tamer than the sparrows even.
Quite solitary. There's only ever Charlie or Charlie and Charlene. There's never more than one Charlie.
Yeah, maybe they're territorial. And the bird song here, you might be able to hear it, is the spring chorus is lovely, and it's a mixture of native birds and introduced birds. So we've got a really bicultural avian population here on our property, haven't we?
We have. You heard the heron this morning?
Heard the heron this morning.
The flying dinosaur.
Yeah. And we've got a bit of wetland down the bottom and of our property, and the pukekos love it down there, and they just screech.
We call them the swamp children, don't we? Because it's like they're squabbling.
They particularly screech if there's an Australasian harrier flying over at this time of the year, because I suspect that the harriers after their young.
Definitely.
And on the lawn now, there's one of your favourite European birds.
Song thrush.
They're beautiful.
They are, and they seem very tame. I love everything about the song thrush. I love the way it looks. I love the way it bounces. I love the colour of it. I love the way it sings. Beautiful.
And we love the way that it listens too. It seems to cock its head and lean forward, listening, and then pounces.
And pulls out a worm.
Pulls out a worm.
9 times out of 10. We're very lucky, aren't we?
We are
Looking
very.
here across to Parapara Peak. It's a beautiful morning. Everything's blooming. It's going nuts.
It is. And over the years that we've been here, we've been trying to get rid of the predators, take out a lot of the introduced species. We have a hell of a time trying to get rid of the gorse, and we're forever pulling out pine seedlings, poplar seedlings and alder seedlings, and it's paid off.
And 3 days ago we caught a possum for the very first time.
It's a huge, great
Our
animal.
possum trap.
Yeah, beautiful, but yeah,
A metre long, wasn't it?
amazing animal, but again, a predator.
And every day we check the traps on the perimeter for mice and rats, and invariably we get one or the other, or more than one.
And we've been here since 2009, and in that time the number of birds in particular that we've heard and seen has increased dramatically. We've now got a great big long list. You might hear the grey warbler in the bushes over there, and the shining cuckoo comes and parasitises that as well. What else have we got?
Silver eyes.
The silver eyes and
Fantails.
and the kingfisher. The kingfisher comes and sits on a post and looks over the lawn.
Shelducks and mallards.
The shell ducks come right close in to the lawn and graze on the lawn.
Weckers, my favourite.
I end on a positive note for you. Your favourite New Zealand animal?
It's just when I'm trying to make the garden tidy, you plant something, you turn around, it's pecked off. The other thing that weckers like to do is they like to go along the borders of gazanias when they're in full bloom and the sun's out, peck off all the heads, just for fun. I do actually detest them. And they poo on the deck, and it's massive every single time. Look, there's one of our sparrows. Bye.
The weckers can be very destructive. They're amazing birds though. And
I don't like them.
Wendy doesn't like them, I like them. I don't think we're going to get divorced over it though.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, it's amazing what we see sitting here on our lawn.